Go. Powered by Riverside.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ant and CJ show. I am CJ.
And obviously, I'm Ant.
And this nasty sweater you have on.
Oh,
This sweater is so frustrating for me. I can't even lie to you.
Listen. This is called style.
Yeah, but we're on episode 1.
Let's go.
Are you excited? I mean, I need a little enthusiasm.
A little applause, a little enthusiasm.
Yeah, let's go. You broke out the good Cosby sweater for this occasion?
Hey, this is Kif, all right? Let's get it straight.
All right, I see you, pinstriped. You know,
this ain't taking it back to the 80s with the Coogie.
Coogee. Oh my God. Biggie just turned over in his grave.
Never was a Biggie fan, so.
Oh, see, now you being disrespectful. We're not doing this. You're not about to take episode 1 to start shitting on all of our black greats. We're not doing that.
Never.
Speaking of our black greats, yo, what is going on with your boy Diddy?
Not my boy. I don't claim people. See,
what is happening?
What gets me though is like all of this stuff is just coming out now. Like this is all like years and years of like speculation and things, and now everybody all of a sudden just wants to start talking. Yeah. And now all this stuff is just coming to light.
I mean, I don't even want to say too much because from what I heard, he blowing people's cars up for saying too much. He started speaking on the wrong things. He putting potatoes in your tailpipe, putting other things in your tailpipe. He's going crazy out here.
I mean, but look, it all started with this whole Cassie situation initially, right? And then that whole thing came to light. Everybody was just like, or because he didn't want the stuff to come to light. And it's just like now more stuff is popping up because it's like now all of a sudden everybody, it's either they're looking for a payday or they're looking to go ahead and like actually expose what's been going on. But didn't he just recently get the key to the city to New York or something like that?
I have no clue. I know that supposedly he's been violating Meek Mill's anus for the last couple of years. That makes me very uncomfortable. That completely changes how I listen to Dreams and Nightmares now because he was a little bit hyped. He was amped up. I need to know where all that energy is coming from.
Hey, that's why he was yelling to Diddy. Hold on, wait a minute.
See, and I don't like that anymore. I don't like that. I love that. So that is one of the top hip hop anthems of all time. It's one of the greatest hype songs. And that is basically your WrestleMania entry music for the black community.
But now they're using it as wedding walk-in songs too. Have you seen it? Like it's all over TikTok. People have been using that song as like their entrance song for the wedding couple.
Dreams and Nightmares?
Yeah, swear. I've seen like 3 or 4 videos already about it using that song.
I'm not gonna lie. If I walk into my wedding in Dreams and Nightmares, I'm punching my wife dead in the face. That song is just way too hype of music to be in love to. You run around. It's a mosh pit when that come on. You heard?
I mean, it's going crazy. It's going crazy.
You heard Meek's new mixtape?
Nah. See, that's the thing. Like, I really haven't gotten into Meek in years. Like, I think he fell off completely, bro. There was that whole Maybach Music era. Everybody was bumping to Ross. Everybody was bumping to Meek. And then it's just like certain things happened and they kind of fell off. Ross stopped making music as he used to with that after that Diced Pineapples and all that good stuff.
All of Maybach kind of had like a little disappearance. Like Wale disappeared for a little while. Even though
Wale disappeared for good, basically. I haven't heard anything new from Wale.
He dropped a single not too long ago that was decent, but I mean, in my opinion, Wale is ass. Wale needs a R&B singer to carry all of his classics. I've never heard a Wale song that I actually enjoyed that had replay value that didn't have like an R&B legend on the hook or on the chorus to save his ass.
That's true because he always had a lot of John Legend features too in the past.
Yeah, the John Legend features, and then he had the what was it, Rihanna and Miguel,
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, Wale got a nice discography, but like, how much of that is holding up without those classic R&B features, the Jeremiah and stuff like that. So you know, man, shout to MMG, you know, shout to
you heard that
Ross.
that you heard that Four Bats song, the remix that Drake hopped on.
No, Drake annoys me. I heard the remix. The song is interesting, I guess. But Drake back to his culture shit. He get accents out of nowhere. He was Jamaican last year. He was British the year before that. Like,
Uh, I mean, it works for him, right? It's gotten him to where he's at today.
where is he at today?
Who you have competing with Drake as from a male artist perspective? Like obviously you look at a female artist, right? Nobody's touching Beyonce.
True.
Other than Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, exactly.
But you look at a male artist, right? And you have Drake and you have Bad Bunny from the Spanish community.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do you have that's performing at that level, selling out venues worldwide, can go on a tour for a full year and sell out every venue that they're performing at?
The Weeknd.
But the thing about The Weeknd is that The Weeknd is not as consistent.
That's true.
With his touring.
Yeah.
Like The Weeknd will drop an album and he won't tour that album for another maybe 8-9 months when the album is already becoming irrelevant. And then he'll go on tour for maybe 3 or 4 months and then that's it. You don't hear about The Weeknd for another 3 or 4 years. Drake will go ahead and go on tour basically almost for a full year. How many times has he extended this tour already? Like 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
He did his tour solo with 21 Savage. Then he added J. Cole onto it, did a couple venues. Now he's adding Lil Wayne to it, and they're doing even more cities. So it's like he keeps extending this tour, and the demand is still up there. Now what ends up happening is Drake is going to finish his tours, not going to drop music for a little bit, hop on a shitload of remixes, and then in a year or two, he's going to drop another album, and it's going to be the same shit.
I mean, when it comes to like putting out songs that are going to get plays, songs that's going to get streams, Drake is the best that hip hop has ever seen in terms of that.
Like you look at Kendrick, and Kendrick will drop classics. Like his albums will be those albums you'll be talking about for years. You still come on to this day. Good Kid, Mad City is probably one of my favorite albums out there.
That's one of the greatest albums of all time.
That album to me is classic. That is one of the albums that you can bump to and you can just like that. It's the lyricism, the storytelling, the fact that Kendrick can tell a story on each album from beginning to end. It's just the artistry behind it. And then you look at people like Kanye. Kanye is a musical genius, but I think he's gotten to this point where it's like he knows how good he is, that it affects the quality of stuff that he's putting out. Production value, you listen to it, amazing. The production is great. The music behind it, great. The content in what he's saying is not there anymore.
But that's hip hop now. Everybody's doing nursery rhymes. As long as you got a fire beat, you can say whatever you want. Ice Spice been on a tear for like a year and a half now. And
it shows how music has changed, right? Like back then we would listen to music for like the lyrical content and the bars. We'd be like, yo, like how do they even put that into a bar? But like the content is just not there. The lyric value is just not what it used to be. Like nobody is dropping classic albums anymore. Everybody is just dropping albums to make noise and get their paycheck. That's all it is. It comes down to nowadays. Look at that Ross and Meek Mills. Going back to them for a second. Look at that whole album they just recently dropped. I listened to that album 4 or 5 times, and I can honestly say I cannot get into it.
That Shaq and Kobe single was big, though.
Shaq and Kobe was fire.
That beat was
the beat is
sick.
insane. But again, you look at it, and what is it that's bringing that music to light?
It's
the
that beat.
Production behind it. Yeah, it's the production. It's not the lyrical content. It's the production. And then you look at how they come in each on their flow, on their verses, and the production of how they're merged into the songs and the content. There's no content behind it. It's just the production value that has you like, yo, that shit is sick. But that's it. That album to me was trash.
Which one is Shaq and which one is Kobe?
I mean, you gotta look at it like Ross has to be Shaq.
Just because he's the fat one? See, I hate how y'all be doing us big brothers.
I mean, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna say that he's Kobe?
Nah.
So, touching on the music topic before we kind of switch from there, what have you been bumping to lately?
That new Meek project, I really, really like that.
Okay.
Cardi has a new single, and she looks good, and it's good to see her out.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been listening to a lot of oldies.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all starting to sound the same.
On my end, really, I've kind of been getting into, and it's going to sound crazy, but I kind of been getting a little into the country wave. So, listening to a lot of Morgan Wallen lately. I think he's been dropping some pretty good stuff. And when you listen to the storytelling behind those songs, like, again, it brings back that artistry for me.
Okay.
So, listening to Morgan Wallen, there's this new guy that just dropped his first ever single. Kind of got big on TikTok. Called his name is Tuck Wetmore. Has this new song called "Wine to." I forgot the name of it, and it's gonna drive me crazy. But "Wine to Whiskey." That's the name of the song.
Okay.
That song is pretty solid for me. And then just really listening to these new Justin Timberlake songs, seeing what this album's gonna sound like. That's coming out Friday. I'm interested in that. Let's see. Oh, and I've also been listening to this band that they've kind of been out for a while. They don't have that much play, but their name is Emotional Oranges. They dropped a EP recently.
Shout out to Emotional Oranges.
Their EP is pretty good.
So I like
100%.
Shout out to Emotional Oranges. So yes. I would love to know how they came up with that name for the band, but shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them for sure. All right, let's jump into sports. A lot has been going on.
Congratulations to LeBron. 40,000 points.
Listen, you got to give flowers where flowers are due. LeBron pisses me off, and he's the biggest crybaby in the game, but
40,000 career points is longevity. That is just a peak unlike anything that I've ever seen before. It feels like Bron been the best player in the league for 15 years now. I think the last time there was even an argument for somebody else being the best player in the league was Kobe's last championship. That was 2010, and even then, Bron was there. Like he was, if he wasn't one, he was two.
But then, how long do you think LeBron has left in the tank?
Bron looked like he could still play another 5 years. He could play another 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. I think, like, Bron is one of those players that a lot of people want to say are overrated, but he matches every statistic and everything that can be said about him.
I think Bron is a little bit overrated. I think that's the other side of the coin that people don't talk about enough. Bron has been the best player in the league for a long time. That's true. But it's easy to be the best player in the league and to just be comfortable and be natural out there when you're playing with other Hall of Famers. When was the last time that Bron didn't have another Hall of Famer on his team? 2009?
That's true. And then it brings up that whole conversation of the super team era, right? They were building all these super teams. They were putting all their best players on one team, and it was just becoming a dominating force in that coast, and it was just becoming ridiculous. I think that Bron right now, you look at the team that he's on, he doesn't have that super team that he used to have. The Lakers are not where they were a couple years ago.
At all. But he still has Anthony Davis. I mean, AD, when he's healthy, AD is top 10 in the league.
But how often is he healthy at this point?
Not often.
He's becoming Mitchell Robinson at this point.
Yeah, but look what happens when Bron don't have another Hall of Famer on the floor with him all the time. They miss the playoffs. They fighting for a play-in spot. Bron is older now, but I mean, he has always played with another Hall of Fame player. Always.
100%. 100% all the time. But then you look at other teams, right? Let's talk about these Knicks for a second.
Oh, we got to talk about the Knicks.
Listen, the Knicks have the potential of doing so much this season, but we are just so injury ridden that it is just ridiculous. And that a lot of that has to do with the conditioning and the coaching staff on the Knicks team.
That's Tibbs. All of his teams historically have always had injury problems because he takes his team, he plays 7 players, and he runs them into the ground.
And that's the issue. He shortens their careers.
Oh yeah.
He shortens their he affects their conditioning throughout the season. Come on, look at Brunson. Brunson is having to run his career. He came to New York and he became an all-star, something he hasn't done in years past. But Tibbs is gonna ruin this kid's career because Brunson is already at the point where his conditioning is being affected. He had a knee contusion and was down a couple games. Mm-hmm. Last season, he was out a couple games too for a tweaked ankle that lasted longer than it should have lasted. You look at Tibbs. Tibbs is a great coach when it's an offensive and a defensive mind, but the way he plays through that rotation, it's
tough on the players.
It's tough on the players. You look at Julius Randle. Julius Randle had a shoulder dislocation. That's something that he can pop back from in about 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle's still out, and he's out indefinitely until Lord knows when. He might not even be there for the first round of the playoffs if they make it. I mean, if you were to look at the team right now, like, we are as solid as we have the depth that we haven't had in years, and that's with a full healthy team. If you get OG back playing at the caliber he was playing right after he got traded, if you get Randle and Robinson back for that first round of the playoffs, we're making a solid run this year.
Oh,
we're making a solid run.
I can see that. I can say ceiling is probably Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see them. I don't see them beating the Celtics.
I mean, I can. If we have Robinson to defend the paint, because Hart is going to need backup because we can't rely on Sims and we can't rely on Precious because Precious is not even, he doesn't really play a center role.
He's undersized.
I see him more as a power forward.
He's like 6'8"
than anything.
He's a real undersized center.
The guy got heart.
Oh yeah,
because he came
again
and he showed like you threw me into a trade bundle, thinking that I ain't shit, and I'm gonna show you what I'm capable of. And he's been playing.
He's a dog.
And I think that that's what the Knicks have. They have the heart this year, but they need their 3-star players that are currently out right now. They need those players on the floor. We need a full, healthy team to go ahead and make a solid run. And like you said, I agree. Eastern Conference Finals, I can see it. I can see Boston and Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it'll be a match if we're healthy. It'll be a solid match. Do I think we'll get a Game 7? Probably not.
Yeah, I think Boston is probably taking that in 5 or 6. They just got too much. They got too much power. They got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and now you add Drew Holiday and Porzingis and Horford's leadership, and he got that cube, like that old school basketball mentality.
Yeah,
Derek White coming off the bench, like the Celtics are loaded. That's really all they have. They don't have a bench. The Knicks have more depth, but Tibbs don't trust the bench enough.
Yeah, we're sitting in 4th place behind Cleveland.
Who's in your MVP race right now?
It's Jokic and it's Tatum. I don't know if you would throw in a Lillard. I don't know. I really don't. I don't. Maybe
Thunder got the best record in the West. He's putting up 30 a night. He's balling out.
Who you got in the finals this year?
I like Denver coming out of the West. I just feel like Jokic is he's too dominant. He can't be stopped. And I think not having Bruce Brown is going to be tough for Denver because he plays such a key role in that championship run. But Jokic is he's on another level. Um, I think it's gonna come down to Denver and the Celtics, and
Yeah,
I got Denver in 6.
I think for me,
The East got to watch out for Miami again too, though. Miami is, that culture. They find a way
yeah,
to
the cultures
win. They find a way to get it done.
they do. I'm not too concerned with them this year. Vaughn,
Yeah. Before we leave sports, Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. What do you think about that? 2 minute tape.
It's just at this point, boxing has just become a joke, and that's all about money at this point.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Mike Tyson, yeah, he looks like he's training hard, but like that's all about money at the end of the day. If Jake Paul offers him a couple, like if he offers him 10 mil so that he can knock him out in the 5th round, he's gonna take the money. Like, come on.
that's the world now, though. Everything's about money. You see,
Yeah,
Wendy's is doing this price surging thing.
really. And let's be honest for a second. Wendy's was superior and prime fast food in its time, but they're not what they used to be.
Wendy's still slaps.
Is it really worth it? Like, are you really gonna pay an extra $3 or $4 for a burger
Hell no.
during peak time to be like, come on?
Hell no.
I'm craving a baconator. Oh, it's only $20. Okay.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
Screw it.
Oh, the Baconator. That's the burger. That's
Oh, it is 100%.
You see, you got
Spicy.
my fat nigga senses tingling.
Them spicy nuggets. Come on.
Oh yeah, the spicy nuggets. Burger King
Listen,
got some
Wendy's-
decent spicy nuggets too. It's not
I'm not a
actually chicken. I don't know what it is that they put in those nuggets, but I eat them.
Listen, the only thing I eat from Burger King is the original chicken sandwich. That's probably it.
Yeah, and
That's probably it.
and the pie.
And their mozzarella sticks from time to time, but they'd be a little too sweet for my liking.
Yeah, I hate the marinara sauce.
Yeah, I prefer White Castle, but
The murder burgers at White Castle, they get you. You have
Oh,
you
they
shit in
get
a
you.
lung.
they get you. So, top 3 fast food restaurants for you. Go.
Chick-fil-A definitely is one.
Gotcha.
Does Five Guys count as fast food?
I wouldn't really count it as fast food because it's kind of made to order.
Okay.
I mean, we kind of have to deal with that soggy bun that they wrap up in that aluminum foil.
Yeah, getting soggy buns from Five Guys just sounds crazy. I got Chick-fil-A at 1. I got Wendy's at 2. Maybe Popeyes
It
at
is
3. Because
Right.
those new wings from Popeyes are actually pretty delicious.
They're solid.
Yeah, they're
I'd
decent.
go. I think if I were to go, I'd go Chick-fil-A. I'd probably toss up between Wendy's and McDonald's for 2 because I love me some McDonald's fries.
Yeah, their fries are elite.
I toss up between Wendy's and McDonald's at 2, and then 3. I think I'd toss it up and I'd go White Castle, man. Chicken rings and some mozzarella sticks, some clams, and the chicken rings. The chicken rings with some honey mustard on them.
Most definitely.
What?
Most definitely. Before we get out of here,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to see what you thought about this trend of women getting on one knee and proposing to their boyfriends or I guess fiancés now.
Listen, man. I don't know.
If
I
your
don't
significant other got on one knee and asked you to marry him, would you do it?
I mean, to avoid the argument, I'd say yes, right?
Oh, that sounds like a healthy relationship. Shout out to Lo.
Nah. No, I'm joking. But what I mean is like, we've always had, at least how men were raised, at least how in the age where we came up, not in this new millennial shit and this Gen Z shit, excuse me. But the way we were raised, right? The man is always supposed to be the provider. Man is always supposed to be like the main one to take a stand and take charge and take ownership to make shit happen, right? So if a woman is going to take away the fact that we're the ones that propose now on this new wave, new age shit, I don't know how I'm going to feel, man. I might feel a little bit like a bitch.
I would say no. Because the way I see it, like, if we get engaged, if we get married, like, that proposal is me asking you if you will join my family. That's me asking you to join my family, take my name, not give up your family, but come and be a part of mine.
And to like, oh look, I've engaged. She asked me to marry her last week. Like,
Yeah, she's
man.
walking around with a ring in her jacket pocket, talking about something. She lit candles and put roses all over the floor and shit.
And it has the whole family like, say yes,
Yeah,
say yes. Like,
she on one knee, got your hand in a nice light little grasp.
It is a completely different world.
So if you ask a girl to marry you and she says no, is the relationship over?
But I think there's a conversation that needs to be held. I mean, it's definitely, as a man, it's going to affect your ego and it's going to affect how you feel. It really depends on how you feel.
Yeah, you might feel like the time is right, but she might not.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just not ready to. I mean, marrying somebody is a lot. You tie yourself to one person for forever, or at least it's supposed to be forever. I mean, modern day divorces are way more popular than ever before, but it's supposed to be for forever, and that can be a lot for someone who you've had time to plan it out. You've gone ring shopping. You've thought about this. If you pop in the question to her, she probably thought about it, but she didn't think she was gonna have to come up with an answer today. So it's like, but if she say no, like, are you still comfortable like being in a relationship with this person?
I mean, it really depends on the relationship. It depends on who you both are and how you guys are together. If we were to get into culture, you look at Love is Blind, that show on Netflix. You had that one black couple that everybody was like, because all he kept saying is like, I don't want to cheat on you. I don't want to cheat on you. I don't want to cheat on you. All right, so don't do it. And then they get to the altar, and then it's just like, yeah, no, I can't say yes to you right now. But then you were up her ass the whole time.
Don't do it. It's a lot more difficult than it sounds.
Because if that were to happen to me, I'd be freaking furious.
Oh yeah, and
I'd probably want a couple heads to roll for that. But that's not to say that if I were to have, let's just say, Rihanna come up to me and throw herself at me, or Tyla come up and throw herself at me, I'm gonna let a situation like that go because I only have eyes on my partner. Like, I mean, we're talking about Tyla, we're talking about Rihanna.
Yeah, I think that relationships take a lot of work. Sometimes it's going to come with some disagreement. So relationships are not perfect. They're not always easy, but communication is definitely important. But I think that it's 100% possible to love somebody and cheat on them. It's fucked up. It's never right. It's wrong. It's wrong. And if they leave you, you get what you deserve. Now, when you find your person, when you find the one, you know it, and you just be an idiot to throw it away. But people are idiots. I mean, people are stupid in their nature. So,
I mean, I have a different take on it. Like, my take on it is like, if you're willing to give in to such a situation and give in to the scenario in which you're now cheating on your partner, then obviously you're missing something and you're not with the right person. And that's a deeper conversation that needs to be held. And if you're if you're out there searching for it, like, even if it finds you and you give into it and you didn't intend on finding that, then obviously you're missing something and you're with the. So before we end this first episode, what are your final thoughts?
shout out to all the spring breakers. Be safe out there, you nasty little heathens. For those who are being safe out there, you know, wrap it up. AIDS is still a thing. It doesn't kill you anymore though, so the risk is a little bit lower. But
Oh my god.
Fuck it. Go raw.
For me, I'd say, shout out to Akira, founder and creator of Dragon Ball. I wasn't really heavy into Dragon Ball Z. But, that was a generational thing that everybody was kind of into, and I think really paved the way for a lot of the animes that came out of it. Shout out to that. Then random thought, and I was having this conversation the other day because I learned if we look at tomatoes, and tomatoes are fruits and they're not veggies, then when we take a tomato and put it in a blender and we make ketchup, why is it a condiment and not a...
Is a tomato a fruit?
A tomato is a fruit.
So you're saying here that ketchup is a fruit smoothie?
Ketchup is a fruit smoothie.
I think it's so sexy when you open your mind to think this way.
And on that note, we are out, guys. This has been the Ant and CJ show. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will catch you next time. Peace.